Welcome to 216, a link to the Past Randomizer podcast. I am your host, fearagent. Been a while, but back with another episode. Today I've got on the show Hitman. Had a really great conversation with Hitman. He's not someone I've had a lot of conversations with, but someone I've raced a lot in the past. And I thought this would be a great opportunity to get to know him a little bit. And I've always loved his Discord profile icon, which is Brett the Hitman Hart as a Simpsons character. So yeah, it was really cool to get to know Hitman a little bit more. You know, we've raced quite a bit back when I was racing, and yeah, someone I just didn't know. And I bet there's a lot of you that don't know Hitman very well. So this will be your opportunity to get to know who he is. Great person. And I think you'll enjoy the conversation. All right, lots to go over, but I want to do it quick. So I have this episode and two more episodes that I have recorded. The next episode I have will be with a Dapper Worm Man. I got to talk to him, and that was really great. And then I finally got GFE to come on the show, and so I'll release that afterwards. And I don't want to make any declarations. I don't want to say it's the end of the show, because I've already ended the show once and brought it back. So I don't want to make any grand proclamations, but it's the last planned episode that I have. So with where I'm at in this community, as far as racing and playing and being a part of the community, and kind of where I'm at with podcasting, it honestly feels like my passion and my fire have kind of gone away. And it's hard to do something that you are investing a lot of time in and effort, and then you don't have a passion for it anymore. It's just hard to keep it going. So I'm not saying the show is over. I'm not saying that there won't be any more shows after the GFE episode. There's just nothing in the works and nothing planned. And I'll expand. It has more to do with just rando. It's more of kind of where I'm at in life. I'm a very passionate person. I get really fired up and really into the things that I'm passionate about. Sometimes to a detriment. I feel like a lot of who I was in my late 30s, even as I was a part of this community and really involved, creating the league and on the council and part of the TARC admins, I feel like I was very passionate to a fault. And I would let that passion boil over. And when you feel things and you feel them a lot, it can be overwhelming. And so then it's hard to take criticism, and it's hard to see things outside of your purview. And I feel like it's something that in my personal life, I've worked on at getting better at. Not necessarily less passionate, but less intense about the passion. Because of that, because of the change in who I am, I'm not as into racing as I used to be. And when I do race, I've really enjoyed co-op. I really enjoy playing this game with other people. It's the one thing that I do enjoy. Every time I try to race solo, it ends really poorly. And I get really frustrated, and it's just not something that I really enjoy. As much as I try, I want to like this game. I want to race it solo and enjoy it, but I just can't get back to that spot, no matter how hard I try. And because I'm not racing, I'm not really plugged in. I'll do commentary here and there when someone asks me, especially like Clear Mouse or Tracy, but I'm not really plugged in. Like, the main tournament happened. My opinions, I feel like I've made my opinions pretty well known that I'm not a fan of the direction that this admin team has gone with the main tournament. I feel like trying to mitigate the loss of community members and people playing this game has just not been done. I feel like they've gone the other direction. And I think it's showing up in the numbers. Like, the fact that they weren't able to field 128 runners this year is honestly pretty disappointing. Having said all that, who cares what I think? I've not played this game. And I feel like me even like having an opinion is worthless. Like, it doesn't matter what I think. I'm not a part of the decision making. I'm not racing. I'm not really watching races or following along with what's going on. I think we're like a few weeks into the tournament, and I couldn't tell you what anyone's records are. I feel like in the past, I'd have been more passionate about it. even as I wasn't racing, but I'm just not there. So there's that aspect of it. It's a lack of passion for the game, and especially the racing of it. You might say, well, don't race it, just play it for fun. And I just have never been able to get there. Like, I know multi-world was really popular with a lot of people, but that part of the game it doesn't interest me. It just never has. And so there's that. Like, I'm pretty checked out. And then on the podcast side of things, I have my other show, Movies I Missed, and we've been recording season 3, where we're covering the year 2008. I have 8 episodes to edit, and I haven't started. And it's just kind of reminding me that, like, I really do enjoy talking. I enjoy creating the content of the podcast, but the work that goes into it of finalizing it and putting it out there has just become, it's work, and I don't get paid for any of it. I'm not asking to get paid for it, but when your hobby becomes work, it's easy to lose the passion for it. So I'm behind on editing these episodes. I've had these episodes in the can for a while, and I just haven't had the energy to edit them. So that's where I'm at with the show. I do want to thank Leoria for all the work that she did in the show in the past, but she just doesn't have the time to edit the show anymore. And when I brought the show back after ending it with the Kermit episode last year, I didn't give her any warning that the show was coming back. I just brought it back. So that wasn't super fair to her. And I know she's got a lot going on. So I do want to thank her for all the work that she helped me with in getting the show out to you all. So as much as I would like to talk to other people, and again, I'm not closing the door. The stream isn't going anywhere. It will still be an active subscription you can get, but I just can't guarantee any more episodes after the next 2. So yeah, that's just kind of the state of things here at 216. So let's get to the interview. Like I mentioned, I have Hitman on the show, and I really enjoy talking to him. I'm a big wrestling fan, especially of 80s and early 90s Bret Hart stuff. Was a big fan in the Attitude Era, and I've just started rewatching it again now. We talk a little bit about wrestling, but we talk about his story and his journey through Rando. So let's get to it. Here's Hitman. I'm going to guess that you're a wrestling fan, right? Like, the name Hitman could mean a lot of different things until you see your Discord avatar, which is the Bret Hart Simpsons image. So I kind of want to start there. How much of a wrestling fan are you now? And is it more of a thing in the past? Because Hitman's pretty old. That was my time. The greatest there ever was, the greatest there is, the greatest was, the greatest there ever will be. The best, not the greatest, the best. Gosh, I'm embarrassing myself.
Yeah, I was definitely a bigger wrestling fan when I was younger. I still keep up with it a little bit now, but it's more so in passing now than it was back then. I used to be just a fanatic. I would go to a bunch of events, and obviously Bret Hart was my favorite growing up. Still probably is my favorite all time. And yeah, like, my Discord tag was my AOL screen name back in the day.
Oh, okay. All right. It's always interesting. You and I have crossed paths quite a bit. I feel like we've done a lot of races, especially in the latter days. Dunkus Ladder, I felt like we were matched up a lot. I feel like we always kind of had a similar rating, and it felt like we were playing a lot back then. But this is like my first real chance to chat with you, even though you've been a part of the community for a while. Am I misremembering that, or we played a lot, right?
Yeah, I think you were one of my first opponents in ladder, if I remember right.
Yeah,
and I know we did do a race time race early on. I was looking through my history. I think my third race time race you were in. It was a Crosskeys race.
Yeah,
dove right into the deep end.
Yeah, that's where mostly what I've played for the last few years, and I know you play a lot of Crosskeys as well. And apparently, you started there as well. What's your history with Link to the Past in general? Before we get to the randomizer, were you playing Link to the Past as a kid?
Oh yeah, my earliest first time I played it was actually at a neighbor's house. He had the game just before I got it, and he was playing the opening sequence. And whatever reason, we were 9 years old, couldn't figure out how to get past the into the castle. So I was the one that actually figured out where to go to get to the uncle drop down, and I was like, I need to get this game. This is so cool.
It is.
Because back
That
then,
opening sequence is amazing. It's such
yeah,
a,
because like back
especially
then
at the
you
time.
didn't have that mood in video games back then with the
For
rain and
sure.
everything. It was just so ominous. It was like, oh, I'm going on this big adventure. This is going to be awesome.
Right. And you're like, where do I even go? Like, right? Because you try to walk around and there's guards blocking you. It's raining outside. Your uncle's left. And you just kind of have to figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, after the fact, you figure out, oh, there's like this little path that guides you where you need to go. But when
Right.
you're a little kid, you don't think of that.
Right. Totally. So you're playing it as a little kid. You already had a Super Nintendo at this point. Were you playing other games?
Yeah, I had, I got Super Nintendo. I want to say it was the year it came out for Christmas that year, and just
Nice.
played the crap out of Super Mario World. And then when A Link to the Past came out, that just, blew my mind. Like Zelda 2 was my first Zelda game, but Zelda 3 was where, like, it just really picked up. That's not to say I don't like Zelda 2. That will always hold a special place in my heart.
Sure, that first one always does. But man, what a tough first game. I guess you could say that for most Nintendo games. Like looking back, the difficulty of all of those Nintendo games was just so high because there was less of a learning curve. It's just kind of figure it out, or you needed Nintendo Power or something.
Yeah, in those early days, it still had that arcade mentality of just pumping quarters, so everything was just the difficulty was just spiked to crazy levels.
For sure. So you had an NES. Did you have any earlier systems like an Atari 2600 or anything?
I played them, but I never had them. Nintendo was, technically it was my dad's console when we got it, but it became mine pretty quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, Super Mario Brothers was the first game I ever saw at my cousin's house, and that obviously at the time that just blew my mind.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's funny to look back now and how simple it is, and how far we've come. But man, I just remember seeing that the first Nintendo and the Super Mario Brothers and just being like completely blown away because everything we had before that was so simplistic with the Ataris and things like that. And even like Pac-Man and, the games were just different, but you had to control this character and he could jump. And I don't know, it was just so amazing.
And looking back on that original Mario Brothers, it's just amazing how they nailed the controls.
I know that's really what it is. Cause you play stuff like Pitfall where you got to like jump from ropes, in a very early platformer. And it's just so primitive and it's so hard to control. And what I think separated Mario is the fact that the controls still hold up.
Right, like on that Atari, you had that big joystick, which for a platformer is just awful.
Yeah, so bad. Were you playing arcade games too?
A little bit, because I was kind of on the younger side. So we had this arcade room that wasn't far from where we lived, and there was like this little kids like amusement park, but it was very, very small, just like 4 rides, and there was a little arcade attached to that, and it was just super loud and dark in there. When you're a kid, it's kind of overwhelming. And then when I got a little bit older, I loved going there. Unfortunately, it didn't last too long once I was able to go there by myself.
I remember thinking as a kid, like, man, I wish we could get home console games that were this good. And I'm like, oh, it's just never going to happen. The arcade's just always going to be better. And now look where we're at. It's funny to think how silly I was as a kid thinking that wasn't going to happen. But because I was playing, especially like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or those like 4-player fighter games, man, those were my jam as a kid. I really loved like Captain America and the Avengers or the Simpsons or the X-Men.
Yeah, I remember when they released that the Ninja Turtles arcade game on the NES, I was so happy. Like, even though it wasn't quite as good as the arcade, it was close enough.
It was close enough. Yeah, you got to play as the Turtles. It was so awesome. And you didn't have to pump quarters in, which was the nice thing.
Yeah, years ago I was moving. I still had my instruction manual from that game, and it still had the Pizza Hut coupon on the back that expired in like 1990.
That's hilarious. That's so good. Man, Ninja Turtles was big for me. So what about, was wrestling still big as you're playing video games? I'm going to focus on Hitman because for me, Bret the Hitman Hart was the best. Like, I loved Bret the Hitman Hart. It was him and the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, like I loved playing wrestling video games even in the early days, like the Super Nintendo. Even though the controls for the games weren't the best, it was just
Hmm.
constant button mashing.
Yeah.
Like I remember my cousins, their L and R buttons from trying to get the finishers or struggling in the grapples was completely broken from playing those games.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Did you ever play the arcade WrestleMania, the arcade game?
Yes.
Yeah, I played a lot of that too, man. Like it had like it was the photo reel, like kind of like the Mortal Kombat style of they took actual images from the wrestlers and put them on there. That was silly. That was fun.
Like I remember on the Super Nintendo game, just to go back to that for a second, I even
Huh?
would when I'd be playing with my my wrestling figures, I would use like the entrance music from those games for my figures coming to
That's
my little
awesome.
toy ring.
Man, just the guitar lick of the the Hitman, da na na na, man, it just hits every time. So you don't really follow wrestling much anymore, but man, I loved Hitman, and the screw job was iconic. It's kind of defined who he is, but we're like almost 30 years away from it, and the guy
Which is
still
crazy.
hasn't let it go. Like it's still everything about him. It's kind of sad. Like, love the dude, loved what he did in wrestling. The screw job was awful. Did you ever watch Wrestling with Shadows? I think was what it was
Yes.
called. The documentary. Oh my gosh, that was like my first look behind the scenes. I was a teenager at that point, or maybe early 20s, but it was such like a cool behind the scenes look at the life of a wrestler that I had never seen before.
Yeah, and I'm still shocked that Vince McMahon let them do that.
Yeah,
Like have that much backstage access,
I
which fueled a
know. Which
lot of people to think that the screw job was a work, as they say
I
in
know.
wrestling terms.
It feels kind of like, was it a work? But I don't think it was, because of how much Hitman has held on to it for almost 30 years. You know what I mean? Like, they kind of moved past it when they had that like sit down interview with Jim Ross like 15 years ago, and kind of like buried the hatchet a little bit between like Sean and Brett. But man, if you watch interviews with him still, he's just it's defined his career, and it's really unfortunate because he really was, like, if you watch some of his matches, has one of the best matches of all time against Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania. Like,
Yeah, and I mean, you can still go back and watch any of his matches, and it's so hard to figure out like where they're working with each other, because he did such a good job of just making everything feel real.
he really
Like he was
did.
always in a struggle, in a fight. It just sucked me
Yeah,
in.
it totally did, because it was coming off of Hogan, right? And I was not a big Hogan fan. I know everyone else was, but everyone was on steroids and huge and muscly. The Ultimate Warrior and all, Sid Vicious and all those guys. And you see Brett, and he was big, but he was not. He was like normal big. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't roided out, and he made wrestling feel real, and it was just so believable. And he had like the way he like told a story, and the way his move set and his selling, and it all just felt so much more authentic and real. And it really, to me, elevated professional wrestling in a way that was just like super cool. And you look back, and it's like, was I looking at it with like rose colored glasses because I was a kid at the time? And you're like, no, he legit was elevating the game.
Yeah, totally. Like when I first got into wrestling, it was WrestleMania 6. It was Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan, and I was at the time a very big Ultimate Warrior fan as a
Yeah.
little 8-year-old kid. But then it
I think
was
you're required to be a fan of Ultimate Warrior as a kid, just because he like played into that like ultimate fantasy. I mean, he was like a real life superhero. You know what I mean? Like, he'd get hit and he'd just start shaking the ropes, and like, you know what I mean? Like,
and just like
no
when his
selling.
music hit, he just come
Yeah.
flying down to the ring like a bolt of
Yes.
energy. Looking back on it, you can see he was just totally gassed from that.
Yeah.
Had no energy left after that to do an actual match, but as a kid, he didn't care. He just flew down to the ring, beat somebody up, and flew back to the back.
Yeah. Yeah. It was great. Yep.
But then it was SummerSlam, the match with Bret Hart and Mr. Perfect, where I really, truly became like a wrestling fan. And I was just like, this is my guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Hitman was so cool. And then the screw job happens, and it does like ruin his career, right? Because then he goes to WCW, and they don't really know what to do with him, and he gets hurt, and it from there just kind of fell apart. It's unfortunate, but man, from like 94, 93, 94 to like 97, he was the man.
The peak.
Yeah, for sure.
And that Heart Foundation run in 97 was just so good.
I know, all that stuff was so good. All the stuff, like even when they turned him heel, like it felt like in retrospect, it was like Vince trying to sabotage him a little bit, but he was so good at what he did. He was such a believable heel. And it was cool because he was a heel in the States and a face in Canada. Like they really were able to like pull that off.
Yeah, and it was just so funny how they're able to make like, American wrestling fans dislike Canadian wrestling fans. And there's like yeah. And at the time there's like no beef between the two countries at all.
No, none at all. No. Like they definitely went with the political stuff when the Iraq war was going on, and you had like Sergeant Slaughter as like a Middle Eastern. I don't think he was necessarily Iraqi, but a Middle Eastern. It was kind of playing into like a fundamental racism of like, go America. But USA versus Canada has never really been a thing. So the fact that they were able to make that work says a lot about Bret Hart and what they were doing. But man, I love that stuff. And it sounds like you did too.
Yeah, and then when the Nintendo 64 games came out for the wrestling games, that's when it just hit its ultimate peak with, WrestleMania 2000, No Mercy, WCW, NWO Revenge, just so many great games.
Were you into WCW? Because was it Rare, THQ, I think were making those? Not Rare, it was THQ and someone else making those games. And they made like 2 WCW games. And I wasn't really into WCW. So I was like, man, I really wish they would make WWE or WWF at the time games.
I was in a similar boat. Like when Revenge came out, I was like, oh my God, if they made a WWF game with the same style, it would be so good. And then like a few months later, WrestleMania 2000's announced, and I'm like, oh my God, it's happening.
Yeah. I played that so much, created my own character and went through all the different things. The character creation was really spectacular in those games, especially for when it came out. But yeah. And there's nothing better than as a wrestling fan than making your own character and then coming down to the ring with entrance music. I don't know, just something magical about that.
Yeah, and like those games just took it to a whole nother level. Like you were able to make, wrestlers that weren't in the game or just whatever you could come up with if you wanted to make yourself into a wrestler. It was really cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. So you're a wrestling fan and a video game fan. What games were you gravitating towards as you were getting into your teen and early 20s?
So I had, the Super Nintendo and the Nintendo growing up, and then when the PlayStation came out, one of my friends had it, but I was still sticking with Nintendo at that time. So I had a Nintendo 64. Don't regret it at all. I love that system. Yeah. A few games I missed out on PlayStation, but it was fine. I was able to make up a little lost time when I got the PS2 with the backwards compatibility.
Sure.
But like mostly platformers in those days, in the Nintendo 64 days. Wasn't really big into shooters until GoldenEye came out. That one, I love that game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to go back to now with those controllers, but man, did we have so much fun.
At the time, though. Yeah, like at the time, it was the best that we had. Now they've developed better controls and stuff, but damn, that was so good.
Yeah, it was.
And be able to play 4-player with your friends and stuff. I don't know if you have any siblings, but be able to play, be able to kill your little brother with a golden gun, it's like awesome.
Yeah, I remember me and one of my friends, we would play, and he would go full chaos mode. He would just throw remote mines all over the place, blow himself up, blow me up. We just had a good old time with that.
Yeah, for sure. Man, 64 was such a good system. It really, really was.
Yeah, like 3D was just learning its footing. So there was some weird things in there, but so many good things came out of that.
Yeah. What about your relationship to Zelda? Were you playing all the Zelda games?
Oh, yeah. Ocarina of Time, I loved it. Even though at the time I was a little bit thinking like, this is pretty much 3D, A Link to the Past, but that's totally cool.
Yeah, sure.
Like in terms of like the structure of the game, you had those, 3 stones instead of 3 pendants.
Right. And then you go into another world.
Yeah.
Even though it's the same world. Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I just loved Majora's Mask, though, because of the way it took Ocarina of Time and just spun it on its head, and just what they were able to do in just a short amount of time of developing that game.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Like, I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about that 3-day system with it, but it works within the game.
Yeah, I agree. I think Majora's Mask is. I don't know how like the games are rated. Like what is considered the best. I think Ocarina of Time might be up there, but man, Majora's Mask definitely should because of. I think it's just the most unique story that Zelda's told.
Yeah, and like I said, just the fact they were able to make that game in about a year is just crazy.
Yeah, and the fact that the 3-day system actually works as well as it does is pretty insane.
Yeah, and just all the side quests and everybody has their routines. It's really cool.
It's so haunting too. Like everything about that game is super haunting. And as you get older, it gets even more haunting because you realize like a lot of the like the things that we're dealing with is metaphors and death and I don't know. It's as a kid, I don't think I guess I was like 20, but even then I was a stupid 20-year-old and didn't understand all that stuff. Yeah, for sure. So you're playing mostly Nintendo, you get the PS2. Do you ever cross over to like PC gaming or any other consoles, or what's your gaming life like as you get older?
At that time I had a little bit more, disposable income, so I had the PS2. I got a GameCube when that came out. I told myself I wasn't going to get an Xbox, but I did.
Yeah.
So I had all three. I was even now I still never really got into the PC gaming, which is funny because I play randomizer on the PC, but I guess that
right. I mean, it's a means to an end, right? Like
exactly.
Yeah, more than anything.
Like
so
I literally bought a laptop to play rando when I started playing.
Really? You
yes.
you didn't have a laptop or a computer to play?
Nah, I mean, to jump ahead just a little bit, because I had just moved. I had no money, nothing going on really. So I was just kind of watching YouTube, came across a link to the Past Randomizer race, and I was like, this is really cool. And I just started watching races constantly. And then a few months later, scrounged together a couple of $100 for a cheap little laptop and started playing.
So what year is this?
This would have been early, when I started playing, it was early 2021. When I started watching the races, late 2020.
Okay, so we're in COVID.
Yeah.
Looking for stuff to do, as we all are, stuck at home.
And I had actually made a poor attempt to play in 2019, but I could not figure out how to get a controller working on the computer that I had, so I just kind of gave up.
Oh,
I think I had downloaded, I forget what emulator I downloaded, but I just could not get the controls to work. So probably for the best that it didn't work out then, because I might have gotten frustrated without knowing what I'm doing and just walked away completely.
Sure. So you were introduced to it before that video then. What was your actual introduction to it? Like, how did you even find it?
I think it was one of my friends. He told me, he was like, he came across a randomizer of A Link to the Past, and I was like, that sounds interesting. A game that I'm super familiar with. I played it a ton of times, and just moving stuff around sounded interesting to me. I had no concept of, any logic to the game. I just thought they just put stuff anywhere, and I was like, how's that going to work?
Right.
But I had never actually seen it played until I watched those YouTube videos of it.
Do you remember what the videos were by chance?
I'm pretty sure it was from the league, because the YouTube uploads for speed gaming, as you know, are kind of delayed by a few months.
Yeah.
So probably by that December, they were uploading the league matches, and I was like, this is really, really cool. And then I found out that the main tournament was going on. That was the hard standard tournament.
Oh, okay.
So I was just watching any race I could of that and following people and watching their streams, just trying to take in as much information as I could about routing and where things are.
Do you remember who you were watching specifically? Was there certain renders that you were drawn to?
In the early days, I remember Koi, because he's always streaming in like the late afternoon for me, so I just watch him constantly. Fred Coughlin, he was always entertaining to me, so I watched him a bunch. I remember in the main tournament, because that was the year they had the cameras. And I remember watching a race with Dunka and just seeing his reactions. I was like, he seems funny. I'm going to watch him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wasn't disappointed there.
For sure. Yeah, Dunka is entertaining for sure. Those are all like good people to like start with too. Like Coy and Fred are really knowledgeable and are good at streaming. You know what I mean? Like good at like getting information across that
Yeah, they
doesn't
would always
necessarily feel
explain
like you're
like
learning.
why they were making a decision they were making, which was super helpful when you're learning how to play the game.
Yeah, for sure. Had you done any speed run or anything competitive in the past?
Now that's the funny thing is that speed running has never interested me at all. None of that stuff. But for whatever reason, this game just brings out like the competitive juices in me, I guess.
As a kid, did you do sports or anything? Or was there any sort of like after school activity or anything that had any sort of competition in it?
Yeah, I played Little League baseball for a few years, but nothing super crazy. It was mostly
Yeah.
just, competitions between friends mostly. Pickup
Mm-hmm.
games here and there.
Do you see yourself as like a competitive person?
Not overly, but like I said, when I first got into this, I got myself into that mindset. I've kind of backed off a little bit over the last few years and play in a more, chill way.
Yeah.
But like when I first got into it, I wanted, my first goal was just to be, good enough to compete. Then I wanted to be, amongst the best. And I wanted to win. And when you want to win, that's when it gets to be a little
Sure.
a little much because you realize just how difficult that is.
Yeah, for sure. So you're watching, you get yourself a computer to play, and you just kind of dive head first in. So at this time, I think race time is around, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you get yourself a race time account, and I think Ladder probably had launched by then as well, right?
Yeah, my first season of Ladder was season 7, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Because yeah, like I had been watching Fred do some ladder races. Obviously, I knew by that point that Dunka was running the ladder. I'm trying to remember if my first race was a race time race or a ladder race. It might have been a ladder race that I jumped into.
Did you spend a lot of time offline?
I did, yeah. When I first started playing, I was just running seeds constantly for like probably 2 or 3 months. I think I got my computer in February, and I started racing late April, early May.
Okay. Were you doing open seas? What were you playing right away?
Probably mostly open and standard. I hadn't really, and then I, you know, dipped my toes into Key Sanity, and then finally Crosskeys.
What were you using as like a resource to learn? Was it just playing? Were you looking online?
Mostly like tutorial videos, and then just watching, as many races as I could, just to see, why people were doing different routes and
Sure.
trying to pick up little execution things.
Sure. And then how did your first few races go? Do you remember how things started? It's unfortunate the ladder site's gone now. Like we can't look back at all the ladder rankings, but
I know I did pretty decent. Like I lost the first few races, but nothing like crazy bad. And then I, started picking up a couple of wins here and there. And yeah, it wasn't terrible.
yeah.
I definitely thought I was better than I was when I first started, but
I think that happens to a lot of people because you feel like I don't know exactly why that is, but I remember looking back and thinking like, why am I not winning more? And then as I look back, I'm like, oh, it's clear why I wasn't winning more. Like my execution wasn't good. Some of the decisions I was making seemed crazy, and it's in the moment though. I felt like, man, I'm playing this great. I wonder if it's because it's different than the regular vanilla game, right? Like compared to how I played the vanilla game, I'm doing way better, but so is everyone else,
exactly, yeah.
So as you start playing and getting more into the game, it looked like you joined the league in season 4, which was, I guess, pretty soon after you started playing, right?
It was, yeah. I had
How did that come about?
I just put my name out there, see if anybody needed a team. And at the time, goes by Zephyr now. They reached out to me with Immortal Koi, who has popped back in a little bit to play some ladder races here and there. They were looking for a third and reached out to me, and I have to give huge props to Zephyr because I didn't have a headset at the time, and I wasn't working, so I didn't have a means to get one. and they sent me one. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, that was huge, and I'll always be appreciative of them for that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it was just so much fun getting to, play this new mode of a game like a randomizer with, other people. That was just so cool.
I'm going to tout the league a little bit, as I always do, because I love it. But getting a chance to like make friends, like kind of force you into making friends in a way is,
Right.
I don't know. There's something special about that. Like just the fact that, you take this solo game and for at least a couple of weeks, you have to play co-op. I don't know. And then you're rooting for your friends to win. You're more invested in those races. I don't know. There's something really cool about that.
Yeah, like I would get more excited when my teammates won than when I won.
For sure. Totally. And when you lose, it feels even worse because you're not just letting yourself down, you're letting your team down as well.
Exactly.
But so as you're kind of a quiet guy. I don't feel like you're out there. You don't stream to like make money or to have big numbers. You stream, I'm guessing, because you have to. Were you able to find a community, or was the league kind of your way of making friends with other people in the community?
Yeah, that was pretty much it. And like I pop into like a bunch of Discord servers here and there, but nothing. Like I said, I'm more of an introverted person, so I kind of keep to myself a little bit.
Sure. I mean, gamers, a lot of us do that, right? Like we play games because it's, for the most part, one on. You can do it by yourself, and occasionally you can do it with friends and stuff. But I don't know. There's something about gaming that can be feeder people that are introverted like us.
Yeah, exactly.
So you go your first season in the league. You guys are in the open. I want to say season 4 was the second season of Open and Invitational, and you went 5-2. That's impressive.
Yeah,
It doesn't look like you made the playoffs, though.
No, I think we just missed that year, which was a little bit disappointing. But I mean, for my first season in league, I really couldn't complain.
Yeah, especially with that record.
I was just happy that I, was able to carry my own weight in it.
It's funny, you look at the people that you're playing in that first open season, and it's a lot of like big names. Like the open was not free at all. It's like it's people that are, would be invitational. You would think that they would be invitational now, but it was a lot of people were new at the time. So, you're playing guys like Gilgamesh or Scruff and Tabby and Winfox and Will WC. And these are like invitational level players, Sir Link a lot. But it was, everyone was still pretty new at the time.
Yeah, it's like their names now, but not at the time.
Yeah, it's
Nobody
funny.
Nobody knew who anybody was then.
For sure. So you come back for season 5 with the same team, and it looks like Koi gets replaced.
Correct. Yeah, at that time he had taken a step back from playing, so we recruited Bread, and he has just become a crazy good player. Yeah. He was all the time, but like now he's taking off. Like he finished. I mean, this is coming out whenever it comes out, but he just won a qualifier, finished first place.
It's impressive.
Yeah. And then I saw his second one. He finished like 4th.
Yeah. You guys finished 10-4 that season, make the playoffs. You went 6-3. Bread went 7-3. Cypher went 5-2. Like all doing really, really well. How did you feel about that season?
Yeah, we had a lot of fun that year. Like Bread just slid in and we just all gelled super quick. Had a lot of fun that year.
Made the playoffs. Looks like you lost the second round to Kabuki Hundo Activist Department, which was CJ, Garrison, and Norsk Maddie. But yeah, no complaints there, right? Like each year just kept getting better and better. The next year, you guys made the conference semifinals, going 11-3, and it looks like Zypher stepped away and he brought in Orange.
Yes,
who is also another amazing runner. Like, yeah,
I believe that was Orange's last season playing the game competitively.
Okay. And then because you guys made the semifinals, I think that qualified you for Invitational, right?
I think we missed getting the guaranteed call up by 1 round.
Oh, okay.
because we did end up in the Invitational the following year, but we weren't sure until we got invited.
Okay. So then last season, you were invitational. You got the invitation. It was you, Brett, and this year with a Meredith. Tell me about this last season of the league. Looks like you guys made the playoffs too.
Yeah, again, it was a lot of fun. And Meredith, as everybody knows, is a totally cool person and was so much fun to play with.
Mm-hmm. What about other tournaments? It feels like you're entering a lot of other tournaments too. Have you entered the main tournaments? I'm sure you were in Crosskeys.
Oh yeah, my first tournament actually was Crosskeys, just because it happened to work out that way.
Yeah.
In the summer of 21, and I've been in every Crosskeys tournament since then. Have yet to make brackets, but before this year, that was even still with this year. That's super difficult to do.
It's super hard. I've played a bunch of years. I took a couple years off, but I've never made brackets either. It's super hard to make brackets. I think they expanded it this year though, right? It was 24 maybe?
24, I believe, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what your best record over the years was?
I know this year they dropped it down to 7 weeks, and previously it had been 8 weeks. I want to say 5-3.
Oh man, so that's like right on the cusp. That's just like right there.
Yeah, I mean, I was just happy to finish, with a winning record.
Yeah.
And then this year, the game that gave me too many losses to make it was against Telethar, so can't complain about that.
Sure. Yeah. That dude is unreal. That guy is super hard to beat. What about the main tournaments? You played in those?
Yes. I believe the first year, I think I was just off the cutoff for qualifying, but then I made it in with drops, and then I've made groups every year since then. Last year, or I think it was last year or the year before, I actually finished in a reasonably good qualifying stand, which was crazy good to me. I was like, all my qualifiers were in like the 90s. It was bizarre to me because I didn't feel like I was that good.
Sure.
Like, it's weird. At the beginning, I thought I was better than I was, and then it evolved into thinking that I'm worse than I am.
Yeah, that's true. It's funny. I mean, you're always in the mix. I feel like you and I share a lot of similarities where it's like we never actually won anything as far as like tournaments go, but we're not easy outs either. I feel like I'm always going to be competitive, and if people have to face me, I feel like they're going to have to play their best game against me. They'll probably beat me, but they're going to have to play well. And I feel that exact same way against you. Like every time I've come up against you, I'm like, crap, I got to like do my stuff or else I'm definitely going to lose. Do you feel that about yourself or?
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, that's not a terrible place to be at. You have that level, I guess, of respect from people.
Sure. And it comes from results, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I can't lay an egg against anybody, though.
Totally. More likely than not, I'm going to lay an egg. Let's just be honest. But every once in a while, I can pull off those wins against some of those better runners. Is Crosskeys your favorite mode to run?
Definitely. I just love how much it makes me have to think throughout the whole race. Like there's no real downtime in it. Whereas like, if you're playing like an open seed or a Crosskey seed, you kind of, go through the motions a little bit at times throughout the race. Whereas this, I feel like it just keeps my mind focused. I don't have any lapses in judgment.
Yeah. Did you enjoy what the Crosskeys tournament did this year by adding all the different selectors and the way it worked?
Yeah, I really did. And I liked how smooth everything went with it. Like, there was no arguing over modes. It's just, if you want this, you just select it. And then if the other person doesn't, it doesn't apply. And it's totally cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I really loved what they did. I thought it worked so well. And the fact that if it matched up, you get to play some fun stuff. Like Zelgo Woods was super new to me, so I didn't select it. But once I kind of got used to playing it, I played a few, realized, man, it's actually kind of fun. I wish I had selected it. Do you remember what you had turned on for your selections for Crosskeys?
Yeah, I had Pseudo Boots, Zelga Woods, and Mirror Scroll. I didn't I like key drop, but I didn't want to include that just because of how much it changes things and how much I'd have
Yeah.
to, kind of practice it a little bit. But yeah, and I got to play with those settings a few times, which was fun.
What do you feel about the main tournament this season?
I'm now that I'm playing it, I like it. When the document first came out, I actually thought it was a joke when I read the first two modes because I didn't understand the first one, and then I'm like, okay, we're just throwing crazy modes in here. What's going on? But then once I played the tile swap, I really do enjoy that mode.
Okay.
I'm not. I kind of wish it was just 7-7 instead of all dungeons, but that's just a small gripe with it.
Sure.
And I mean, Randomizer, I've never liked Randomizer, so that'll be the mode that I veto. But
Sure. I feel the same.
I'll play my one qualifier of that and just be done with it.
Mm-hmm.
But the other modes are all really good, like Kabuki, Kaz Boots, and Crosskeys are all excellent modes.
Sure. What? Tell me about overworld tile swap, because I've done a couple and I didn't care for it. I'm curious to hear from someone that actually does enjoy it. What did you enjoy about overworld tile swap?
Just the routing implications that it creates. It creates some really unique ones. Like sometimes your dark world access might be from Death Mountain Descent Cave, which I think is really neat. And just once I've gotten used to tracking it, it became a lot more manageable. At first, it would just seem very overwhelming. Like, what the hell's going on?
Is there a track? I'm a little bit behind. Is there an auto tracker like that will automatically check stuff, or do you have to map check, or how does it work?
I'm not sure on certain ones because I use Muffin's Tracker, which was an extension of Dunka's, and he implemented an auto tracker to the tile swap. So like when you go onto the screen, it just automatically tracks what dark world or light world. And some of the tiles are connected to each other, like Lost Woods and Hobo are connected. There's a few others, like because of the whirlpools. If
I see.
If Ice Palace is in the light world, then Catfish will also be in the light world.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it's something that you've gotten used to and found that you've enjoyed? Like, is it something that you'd want to race regularly if it became popular?
I think I would, yeah. I do like too that it uses for some of the inverted quirks of it. It uses the newer versions of it, and some of the stuff they changed I like Dark Death Mountain East is a lot more manageable now.
How so?
They changed the way the bridge works. Like you can get two of the bridges in one go instead of having to constantly hop down, do Mimic Cave, then hop back up and do Spiral Cave. You can do both of those in one shot now.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, if you have a flute, when you flute up to the mountain, you flute to the top. There's no longer like the bridge that goes up to Castle Tower.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, I could see some quality of life adjustments that would make that more playable. Cool. Maybe I need to give it more of a chance. Like I've only done one or two and I didn't enjoy it, but it was so different from what I'm used to. And I felt like having to learn all this stuff was just like, I don't know, man. I don't want to learn. I don't have enough time to spend learning all this stuff, but that's just me.
Yeah, it's exactly how I felt when I started playing it too. I was like, this is overwhelming me. But then once I did like 2 or 3 of them, I was like, okay, this is actually good.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I'm excited to hear that. I feel like there's been a lot of negativity, especially coming from me, about the mode and the choice to include it this season. But if it's a positive, I'll definitely eat my words and give it its due respect and praise and to the admins too. So it'll be really interesting to see throughout, because we're just starting, as we're recording this, we're just starting qualifiers.
Yeah, I could have joined the first one, but I still didn't feel super comfortable with the tile swap to actually play my qualifier yet. That's probably going to be I'm thinking that's going to be probably the last one that I do, just so I can play a bunch more, practice this month.
Are you planning on doing asyncs, or are you going to do live races, or a mix?
Probably a mix. If I can get into a live race, I'll probably do that, just because I love being in the big races.
Yeah. How do you feel the state of Rando? How do you feel like where things are at? Are we in a good spot? Are we on a downturn? I don't know. It feels like Tark stuff has been pretty quiet. You have no interest, right, in being like a Tark admin or any of that stuff. I would guess.
I had briefly thought about throwing my hat into it, but I just
Oh,
felt
okay.
like there were probably people that were way more qualified than I am, like people that have run tournaments and stuff that just have that headspace for it better than I do.
Mm,
But I have definitely thought about getting a little bit more involved, just trying to give back a little bit more to the
sure.
community, just because I've gotten so much out of it.
Yeah. I mean, you've been a part of the community for 5 years now. What state of Rando? Just a kind of a broad sense from your perspective. Are we in a good spot?
I feel like we are. I mean, definitely things have calmed down since when I first got into it, but I mean, with COVID ending, that's going to happen. But
Yeah.
I do feel like it's in a pretty decent spot. It's a little bit more splintered than, would probably be ideal for everybody, but I mean, it's totally cool. People are having fun doing their things in their own little communities. But I think
Sure.
everybody kind of comes together for the big tentpole events, and they get their complaining out of the way about mode selection for this
Sure.
tournament, that tournament. But
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's in a pretty good spot, though. I mean, you look at the mentor tournament; they have people coming in every year playing the game. Some stick around, some don't, but that's just going to be the way it is.
Sure. Yeah, like I feel like the two big ones being main tournament and league are the ones that kind of bring everyone together. Crosskeys you could say is a close third, but not everyone loves entrance. So there's like these times of the year, when the main tournament starts, which with qualifiers and all the group races, I feel like is one of the most fun times to be a part of Rando, and then the thick of it in the middle of the league, when the league kicks off and everyone's playing for those 7 weeks, it feels like everyone is playing, and I don't know, it brings everyone together, and it's always like super fun times of the year.
Yeah, it just brings that buzz back to Rando, and I guess it would be difficult to maintain that buzz all the time.
Sure.
Like when I first got into it, you had the daily races every day, but those kind of went by the wayside. But you have ladder that kind of fills that niche. I mean, you just have races
Sure.
all the time. Like I definitely think it's still a very healthy community.
Yeah, for sure. Especially since the game is super old. I mean, we're playing a modified version of this game, but it's still a 35-year-old game, right? Like,
yeah, like it's always gonna have a cap on how many people are going to be interested in doing this.
Sure, for sure. It is super fun though.
Oh yeah. Like the thing that drew me in was just like, it's this familiar game that you just get to play different every time. It's great.
Yeah.
It's so simple, but so difficult. It's so complex at the same time.
For sure. So you're going to call your shot this year about winning the main tournament?
I mean, if I make, just if I make brackets, I'm happy. Try, and then from there, you just, see how far it goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I think, I forget if it was last year or the year before, I played Lin, and we just had like a crazy series, like this inverted series game we had. We had to do a Trinex on Fighter Sword. That was fun.
Oh, geez.
But yeah, it's just been a blast getting to play so many different, really good players. That's the thing I love about tournaments, is just getting to play, all these really good people.
Yeah. And you get to be the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be, right? Like you have a moniker to live up to. So
yeah, it's big shoes to fill.
For sure. For sure. Let me ask you about tilt. You don't always stream with the mic, right?
Very rarely, yeah.
Yeah. So we don't get to hear when Hitman gets tilted. What's your approach to tilt? Do you get tilted? And if you do, how do you handle it or manage it in the situation?
Well, more than having a microphone on, I probably should have had my camera on, because it's more so in my facial expressions that I show my tilt.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I try not to get too vocal about it, just because I just don't want to be that screaming, yelling person. But I used to let it really, really bug me, and then found out that it would really affect my play when I was tilted.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of just learned to just, if something tilted me, just, let it go. You can't change it. Just try to do better from here, and then just try to focus on what I can do to make up any possible time difference I might have made by a stupid death or a bad decision.
So let's say you take a dumb death to cold stare. Do you what's that can be maybe it's early in the game and you don't have great equipment, but it never feels good. How do you talk yourself through it? Like what do you tell yourself? Do you stew, or I don't know, how do you talk yourself through continuing?
In the moment, I would say that I'm, at that moment, I'm just, super just frazzled by it. And then I just have to take a deep breath and just be like, just to kind of refocus myself. And just sometimes if it's a death to cold stare, it might be a situation where, let's just come back to that later. Or as I'm going back through Ice Palace, it's just, you know how to do this. Just calm yourself down and just do the fight the way you know how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just have fun with this game. You don't have to be the best at everything in life. As long as, you have fun while you're doing it, that's the big thing.
Yeah. And it's safe to say you're still having fun?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Still having fun. Not playing nearly as much as I used to. Life just is that way, but I still get to play. I try to play once a day, once every other day.
That's a lot. I still think that's a lot. Maybe not as much as
how it was when I first started, because I wasn't working. I was playing like 4 or 5 seeds a day.
Oh wow! Yeah, that is a lot.
But that will lead you down to the path to burnout super quick too.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you've got years to go with this game? Are you still feel fresh about where you're at? Like, you've been playing it for almost 5 years now, and the game can become frustrating or be stale or whatever. There's new innovations and things, but do you feel like where you're at, you've got longevity with it?
Definitely, yeah. I feel like I've gotten into a healthy place with it. Whereas earlier, I think I kind of did get myself almost into that burnout level. Kind of took a little step back, didn't play for a week, and then hopped back in a little bit, and then kind of got more back into it. And now I've kind of found my happy place with it now.
That's awesome. You're playing it on stepladder?
Yes. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I was very, as a lot of people were, I was disappointed when Dunka shut down ladder. I mean, totally understandable when, you've reached your point, that's it. But I'm glad that, other people have taken up the mantle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Stepladder's awesome. Like they filled a pretty big void, and it's cool to see it continue and grow. And
I mean, just having, constant races firing off is really cool. Even if, you can't make a lot of them fit into your schedule, there's always, another one around the corner.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
And then pickup races, of course, are always firing off.
Yeah. Mostly Crosskeys, but
yeah, the race planning in Tark is mostly a Crosskeys planning channel.
It really is. People know what they like. It's Crosskeys. Let's be honest.
And I'm very happy that became the mode of choice.
Yeah, I was so scared of playing Crosskeys for so long because it felt so intimidating. But man, all those years I wasted not playing Crosskeys feels like a big loss now. But
and it's also, when you first start learning it, it's a huge time investment because you're going to be playing for at least 3 hours.
Yeah, for sure. My first Crosskeys seed was an Agaped seed. And it took me, I want to say like 5 or 6 hours to beat that. So, and I'd been playing the game for a while, so it wasn't like I was new to the game, but man, it took me a long time to figure out how to do all of it. So,
yeah, I was just so happy when I was able to consistently get my times under 2.5 hours.
Yeah, for sure.
Like 2.5 hours for me, that's when I pretty much reach my I don't want to play this anymore point.
Right. Totally.
I'm no longer having fun. I just want this to be over.
Yes, just be done. Doesn't matter if I win or lose. Just get me out of here for sure. That's good stuff. All right, man. Thank you so much for doing the show. I'm glad to get a chance for everyone to get to know you a little bit more. Like, you've been a part of the community, but again, you're a little bit more of an introvert and are a little bit more quiet than some of us louder morons. But man, super glad to hear your story and glad that you came on to do this.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. You're super easy to talk to, man.
Again, I want to thank Hitman for coming on the show. Just a really awesome dude, and it was good to get a chance to have a conversation and kind of hear who he is and his story and all the fun stuff that we get to do here at 216. So I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, go play some Crosskeys with Hitman because dude likes to play some Crosskeys. All right. So for the 3 people that listen to the show, I want to thank you for listening to this conversation that I had with Hitman, and thank you for indulging me as I kind of share what's going on with me and the show and podcasting and rando. And if you have any questions, I will gladly answer them in the Discord. We'll be back in the next episode. It should be next week if I can get off my ass and edit it, but it should be next week, and a conversation with Dapper Worm, which I also thoroughly enjoyed. So make sure you come back for that. And I think that's going to do it. We're in the middle of football season. My fantasy football team, the 216 Fantasy Football League, is going on. I'm in first place with an 8-3 record. So I'm going to say that's been going well. And then, the Seahawks are 7-3 as well. So that's awesome. And I'm going to brag about that while I can. So go Hawks. And we'll see you on the next episode.